You're watching The Mic Check on every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to The Mic Check. I'm Nathan. That's Michael. And as you know, we had some real fun stuff here. And tonight, okay, one week we had making veggie burgers taste good. This week, we have something that already tastes good. And we just make it taste better through our delivery. So this is an upbeat, energetic feeling spot. Needs to definitely be read with a smile. And without any further ado, Hershey's. And who wants to take this first?
Since I'm the newcomer, let me do it.
Okay.
Okay.
I love a brave soul.
Also, we have a fun little tradition here. The newcomer or the person who goes first gets to choose who goes after them. So you can choose anybody from the group to go.
I
after.
already know who I'm going to choose.
All right, go for it.
All right. Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
All right. So who's going next?
Richard.
What a shock. I was so unsuspecting.
I know.
I'm sorry, Richard. You had a target painted on your forehead this whole time.
Yes, I did.
Yes, he did.
All right, there we go. Hershey's make smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious. All right, Philip, give us
All
a
right.
read.
Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious. Dan.
What?
Thanks for coming to the party, Dan. Really, no, we appreciate it.
Thanks for checking in, Dan.
I'm here. All right. Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious. Michael,
Okay.
not letting you go last this time.
Hey, okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I don't get an easy break, do I? Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious. Let's see. Leonard, you're next.
Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious. Nathan.
Hershey's make smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious. And that's the last read because Frank isn't in yet. He's
And you have all
He's on
succeeded
standby.
in making me hungry for some Hershey's.
Well, it's funny because all of those took all of about 4 minutes. So
Really short script today.
Doesn't take long to want Hershey's.
that's very true. That's very true.
By the time Frank joins us, we'll have s'mores made and gone.
Oh.
the spot is actually a 15-second long spot, but it's mostly filled with visual imagery. So, it's got a lot of activity going on the screen while, you're hearing this thing playing out. And there's a huge gap between smiles make more smiles and then when the chocolate is Hershey's, because they're basically tagging off with that last little bit, and then they hit life is delicious and they got a picture of a Hershey bar on the screen.
Okay, so then if there's such a break, I've got a question. So it says that the spot needs an upbeat, energetic feel, but is that really the case? Like, does it need to be like that energetic if it really is that broken up?
It's not too huge of a gap, but it's enough to make it fill 15 seconds.
Okay.
Or you can just read it really slowly but energetically.
Really slowly but energetically. I like that one. Like friendly yet authoritative.
Smile, make more smile.
Maybe you spell it.
you
Sit there
go.
and spell it the whole time. Because, well, the thing is to me, this seems more like a, I don't know, maybe you did hear the commercial. Maybe you pulled this off of a commercial. I don't know if you did. But just from
I
reading
transcribed it from a video. So
Okay. From reading it, it seems like it's more of one of those warm and friendly sort of reads rather than an upbeat, energetic sort of read.
yeah.
But that's just my interpretation from what I see off the text. I mean, I don't, like I said, I didn't look up the video or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So some of these like really super excited reads that I heard felt a little out of place.
When I read it, I didn't feel comfortable actually reading it like that.
Well, yeah, and your delivery actually came off that way. It felt like you were uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's you get some of these different directions, and it's what they're saying, and then when they hear something, they go, "Well, but that's not what we like." That well, that's not what you said.
Well, as they say, do something that you feel comfortable with, because otherwise it's not going to work. And so you try to find a way for making what they want and what you feel comfortable with mixed together.
So let me do my deadpan read. Is that what you said?
I don't know. That would be really funny, but I don't think. Yeah, Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles.
I can do it with a smile.
Yeah, then you're going to sound like Eeyore.
Oh, Hershey's
Smiles
make
make more smiles.
Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
Oh, bother.
From what it sounds like to me, it sounds like maybe, I don't know, because we had a lot of like more excited reads than I think like energetic reads. I think if I'm interpreting it correctly, at least, of course, correct me if I'm wrong, or please feel free to disagree with me.
Oh,
is that it's supposed to? Yeah. Thanks, Richard. Is that this supposed to be? What am I trying to say? Like not sleepy. You know, like it isn't supposed to be something like Hershey's makes smiles, smiles make more smiles. So I think by upbeat and energetic, it's more of like a happy, awake, alive kind of tone, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. So the people in the imagery are presumably being active and doing active things.
Yeah.
Because chocolate promotes an active lifestyle.
Yeah, basically that's what they're showing. They're showing, people just, hanging around together, playing games, that sort of thing. And so it's that kind of imagery that's on the screen while this thing's playing out.
Well, you just made a good point for me, because I'm going to have to get off my chair and stand. Otherwise, I'll be going into a hypnotic mode. So.
Yeah, so if I'm interpreting it correctly, upbeat and energetic just means like awake and alive, like present, not necessarily like excited and, I just chugged 5 coffees or something like that.
So I mean, you could read this sultry, but that's not what they want. So that's how I'm interpreting it.
Yeah.
Well, that would certainly be interesting.
That'd be like the Valentine's Day Hershey commercial, Hershey's make smiles. Smiles.
Yeah, I don't think we want to turn the mic check into an NSFW thing. Let's go ahead and keep it work appropriate.
50 Shades of Hershey's.
Why don't you come by and bring me a boss sometime?
Let's see. We got dark chocolate, cookies and cream. Now we got that gold stuff that nobody's ever going to eat.
Okay, so so then the next thing would be like keywords to sort of hit in the script, right? Like that would be sort of the next idea.
Yeah.
Well, obviously Hershey's on both cases.
I think delicious needs to be hit. It needs to sound like what the word says.
Yeah, delicious. Yeah, definitely that needs a little something. I think more.
Smells
like more smiles needs to be hit.
Make more smiles.
Yeah, because we don't want to hit smiles twice. We've had that happen before. It sounds really
hit the first one, but not the rest.
Smiles make more smiles. Yeah, that just sounds creepy. Like we don't want this to sound creepy.
So, have a smile.
More smiles.
Well, I actually don't know if Hershey's really should be hit in that first one. I think this is kind of like what we did last week, where Hershey's Makes Smiles should be sort of all of it needs to be hit. Like it all needs to be sort of separated out a little bit.
Hershey's Makes Smiles.
Yeah, Hershey's Makes Smiles. You know, you're sort of introducing all of it. And then you can sort of become a little bit more casual as it goes through. At least that's what it's sounding like to me. Again, feel free to disagree if you do. Smiles make more smiles. So I don't know. I think with that first one, all of them need to. Every word needs to be hit. That's sort of like the ad campaign. Yeah. You're telling the person, hey, you want to have a good time, you better buy some Hershey's.
Yeah, I don't know about makes.
Hershey's Makes Smiles.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking that the whole thing needs to be sort of like a slight step down as you go through it. At least that's how I'm hearing it in my head. Like Hershey's Makes Smiles. 1, 2, 3. That's just what I'm hearing. So
Hershey's Makes Smiles.
Yeah, or you? Well,
you could go down. You could go up.
I overdid it, but
yeah. Well, you could walk it up. Yeah, Hershey's Makes Smiles. Smiles make more smiles. I think definitely, however you do it, from one side, you need to do the opposite on the other. So, if you go up, Hershey's Makes Smiles, then Smiles Make More Smiles needs to go down. Smiles make more smiles. Because if not, you're just climbing up the whole time. Hershey's Makes Smiles. Smiles make more smiles. I took a step down.
Yeah.
Smiles make more smiles. Yeah, we don't want to do that.
Smiles make more smiles.
they do.
As you get to the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah, you keep going up.
It is a short.
Chocolate is Hershey's. Life is delicious. You just keep going up, climbing up the whole time.
That's not going to work.
Let's put a Hershey's in that face.
So it looks like this does have some natural breaks in it to do some sort of like teeter-tottering, some seesawing.
Yeah,
I see that. Yeah, it happens to the ellipses and then the comma in the second one.
It's almost as if they wrote it for the background music that they used with it. I mean, in style.
Okay.
It's got this. There's a energetic kind of music that denotes having fun, and
Mm-hmm.
There's Frank.
There's Frank.
Hey.
Oh, he gets to do his first read since we haven't started second time around, so he'll be after Nathan. You have the script yet there, pal?
It's the Hershey thing, right?
Yep,
Yes.
it's the Hershey thing.
I do.
It should have been posted like 3 or 4 times by now, I guess.
Yeah, it's like 2 lines or something like that.
Yeah, that's it. Do you want to give us a read?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Hershey's Makes Smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
Okay. So anybody want to go over a little bit of what we talked about so far then?
It just
Tell me
about
everything I did wrong.
the pattern that we were talking about making with this thing.
Yeah, you just pulled it.
You just did what we said we need to do. So, gee, thanks for giving us that example.
Thanks,
I didn't go on and
thanks
get
Frank,
mine.
for giving us the exact read we were looking for.
Yeah, can we go home now?
Yeah.
Well, see you guys next week. Bye.
All right, everybody, that's it for this week's mic check. We'll see. Anyway. That's Nathan's job. I'm stepping all over his feet right now. I'm sorry, Nathan. I'm sorry, Nathan. I love you, man.
He'll just say the name wrong anyway. So, poor Nathan.
We're gonna have to do some more chopping off. Yeah, just so everybody who's seen this part of the video, yeah, Nathan messed up the intro. This is actually the second one he had to do. So, all right, it's okay. I did the same.
You won't hear this you won't hear my mess up on YouTube. I'm a good.
You gotta join us. You actually gotta join us here on the mic chat.
To hear all about all of our mess ups.
Yeah.
I don't know. We air those pretty openly everywhere. But anyway, back on topic here. Let's go ahead and get back on the script. So we were talking a little bit about the feel and the tone that this read is supposed to take. And while the direction says upbeat and energetic, we had a lot of reads that moved into like the excited sort of feel. Unless somebody has another idea for it, what we sort of established was that it was supposed to be more of like this awake and alive, sort of like present feeling. You know, not like super big and bright, but definitely happy.
Well, yeah. Okay.
And just like what you did when we were talking about as well, is that there was a little bit of seesawing that gets done here. So, you know, if you climb up with Hershey's make smiles, the next part after the ellipses needs to go down. Smiles make more smiles, you know, or do it the opposite way, however you want to do it.
Mhm.
So we saw that there are those seesaw points at the very beginning, the first sentence broken by the ellipses, and the second sentence broken by the comma. So that's been the discussion so far.
Yes.
Okay.
Does anybody else have anything that they noticed about the script or any of the reads that they wanted to point out or mention?
No.
No.
Not at this point in time.
I will take the silence as a no.
Oh, I was muted. Sorry. No, just kidding.
You pulled a Richard.
Yeah, geez, do you have to?
You pulled a Richard.
Yeah, well. I haven't even muted tonight there. The fan's running a little bit. If you don't hear it, well, it's running.
All right. Well, we don't. So you're doing good. All righty then. So since we've got that out of the way, why don't we go ahead and go back into the reads again, same order, but this time we're doing coaching, sort of. No, we're not doing coaching. Feedback. That's the word I was looking for. Feedback.
Feedback.
There you go.
I'm a professional. I can do this. Anyway.
We are not coaches. None of us are coaches.
No. Yeah, but just full disclosure, we do not consider ourselves coaches. This is not coaching. This is script practice. We always encourage you to look for coaches. Opencoaches.com is a great resource to find them. So if you are looking for them, that's a good place to go. Also, if you want to ask any of us who we've coached with and our personal experiences with them, we'd be more than happy to tell you about them. We know a lot of people in the industry who do really great work. So anyway, let's go ahead and get back into the reads. Our shameless plugs are over. Crystal, why don't you go ahead and take over for us?
And she's muted. And she's fixing it.
Oh, she's still muted.
Come back to us.
Chris.
You're
All A.
Chris.
All A.
There we go.
there you
Notice
are.
we're not giving, we don't give new members a break. You're here, you're going to get razzed. Just
You know what? Watch out. I give back.
yes, I know you.
Perfect.
Kitty has
All right,
claws.
Crystal, wow us. Let's do this.
All right. It'll probably be the same kind of read as I did originally.
That's fine.
Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
All right, opening up. What did everybody think about that read?
I thought the first line, Hershey's makes smiles, smiles make more smiles. I don't think there was personally enough inflection on it. Like there wasn't enough of an uphill and then a downhill. It was more like even, and then you kind of went downhill on the second half of it. But other than that, the smile was definitely there, and it's a beautiful smile, by the way.
Grazie.
The other thing that I noticed is smiles make more smiles sounded a little rushed. Did anybody else hear that? That it was a little bit quick, at least quicker than the way it started.
Yeah, I felt that the Hershey's make smiles. There was a fair bit of a pause there after the Hershey's.
Okay.
Which may be okay.
Yeah, because
Just something to know.
From what it seems like, it really seems like the actual Hershey's plug is in the second line. Like the first line is just sort of the establishing shot, but the actual plug for Hershey's is in the second line.
Agreed.
If that makes sense.
It does.
All right. So I guess then even out the pace across the entire read and pay attention to how you start off so that you can, do the opposite with the other side of the opening line and give us another read.
Hershey's make smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
Okay. That was definitely a much better pace, but
It felt to me like you were going more for the sultry than for the upbeat, energetic.
Yeah, it was an even pace without the energetic feel was missing.
It was an even pace with an even tone for the first line.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to explain that. Thank you.
Yeah, but it was basically there was no inflection really in the first line, and like Leonard said, it was very sultry sounding. These are adult chocolates.
Yeah, these are adult chocolates. That's my biggest issue. That's my normal voice.
And there's nothing wrong with it. It's again, it's a wonderful voice, but it's just, you need to bring out the inflection in it. That's all.
Pull out the breathy talk too.
The excitement. That's all. There needs to be a little more excitement in this, because it's like, like, remember Fantasy Island? Smiles, everybody smiles. That kind of thing.
Hershey's make smiles. Smiles make more smiles.
There you
When
go.
the chocolate is Hershey. Life is delicious.
That's it.
There you go.
You just nailed it. You
That
just
was
again.
Read.
We'll do it again without anybody interrupting. Let's do it. I want to hit the whole thing.
just
Do you think
like
I can
that
do it
again.
again?
Yes.
Hershey's make smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
Boom. Drop the
There
mic
you go.
right there.
Perfect.
Drop
You
the
got
mic. Don't
rid-
actually
you got-
do that, though, because they are expensive.
That's right. But you got rid of the sultry, and you got the inflection in there, and you sounded so happy and excited about the fact you were going to be eating Hershey.
It didn't. The first time you read it, it actually came across with a little sarcastic tone. But the second time, you're like, "Wow, you guys are serious," and it came out gorgeous.
Yeah, we're serious here.
Yes, this is a little getting used to. Absolutely.
We have no fun whatsoever.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Well,
Oh, I'm leaving now. There's no fun.
All right, Richard. We already know you're next.
Yeah.
Well, we knew you were next from the start. It was
It wasn't a shock. There we go. Okay. Hershey's make smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
All right, opening it up. What did you all think of his read?
You could smooth it out a little bit. It seemed a little staccato in places.
Okay.
Yeah, you seem to go down on both the Hershey's make smiles and smiles make more smiles. And I think one of them or the other should go up.
That's because I couldn't remember what I did on the first one. That's what I couldn't remember
Doing his
that long.
Boca
Is that
Burger
sad or
read.
what?
Well, thankfully, chocolate is much more delicious, much easier to make it sound delicious. Rather than, hey, it cooks just like real meat. You're going to love it.
Yeah, this has a much more flavorful intonation to it.
But anyway, yeah, that was something I was gonna point out too. Yeah, there was no seesawing. There's no teeter-tottering there. It was the same tone for both. It was Hershey's make smiles, smiles make more smiles. You did the same thing on both of those, and yeah, it sounded a bit odd.
Just as I got to the third smile, rather, I went, did I go up or down? Did I go up and then?
No, you may
And you
want
call
to.
me old.
Okay, what you may want to do is just make a decision ahead of time and mark it. Just keep it marked so that it's always straight in your head.
Well, yeah.
Or
I
you
mean,
know what you do? Seriously, you know what you do? Just go like this, like Hershey's make smiles. Okay, so my thumb is pointed up, so I went up on the first one.
Yep. It was where I've been practicing it in my head, and then when I got to it, I went, I didn't listen to myself. What did I say? Yeah, well.
Well, the other thing I wanted to say is I think your second line actually was really good. I wouldn't really change anything about that. The way that you did it, if it was just sort of second nature or whatever the case may be, I thought it sounded fine. Does anybody else have anything that they wanted to mention about Richard's read?
What's the point? He won't remember.
Oh, and I was so looking forward to you being here today, Frank. Well, that went out the window.
Is that very typical to wind up having one thought in your head and it comes out a whole different way?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
can.
unfortunately, that is pretty typical.
I get
Thank
for
you.
being honest.
And when I do that, I get stuck on a page in I'm doing audiobooks, I get stuck on a page for like 30 minutes when it's a 10-minute read because I get something in my head and it just keeps on coming out wrong. It keeps on coming up, and I'm just
that's something that I'm trying to do in my personal auditioning and stuff. Is if I've settled on some kind of decision about how I'm going to teeter-totter it, I want to mark that too. I want to make sure that all of my thought processes are clearly laid out there so that when I'm up behind the microphone performing, I see exactly what was going through my head and exactly what my interpretation was the whole time. Because I know that I'm going to settle on something, I'm going to like it, I'm going to hit record, get into the booth, get behind the mic, and I'm going to completely blank. So I've been trying to personally mark all of my thought processes down, and this is just me encouraging that with you guys too.
All right, I'll give this another shot. I love these burgers. Oh, wait, no, that's not what we're doing. Okay. Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
Boom, baby.
Yeah, that felt like it had much more of a direction. What did everybody else think? What did you all think?
I pictured in my mind the happy-go-lucky grandpa with a pocket full of melted Hershey's. It was perfect.
And
it actually made me think of the Easter commercials.
Yeah, that's what I was actually thinking, was the Easter commercials.
You're about that close to the Cadbury egg guy. So just in that tone that you used, and your pacing, and you added the musicality that just needed just right for that.
Yeah, no, that was really good, Richard.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Well, if it made you think of other chocolates, I guess that's a good thing.
Well, I don't know if the people from Hershey's would think that's good. But
No, I don't think so.
oh, good. He read it just in the perfect way that they're going to think about O. Henry bars.
Man, this Hershey's commercial is a great one for Cadbury.
No kidding. Oh, shoot. Anything else, guys?
Oh, that was
No, you nailed it.
You're hired,
Yay.
right?
Just send the
Those
check,
are the words.
too. Yeah. Don't forget to call that number, BR549. Anyway.
We are so close to the time of the year when everybody starts buying candy, so why not do a Hershey?
Oh, Daddy
Really,
caught
why
the phone
not?
number, didn't you?
Hey, no word of a lie. My wife and I, this time of year, always take a trip down to the States to get our Halloween candy
Ah, yes.
because it's that much cheaper.
Wow.
I kid you not. We can buy down in the States for like $7-8. It would cost us $30 up here to buy.
Man.
Whoa.
So
All
even
right
with
then.
the exchange, it's well worth it.
So
Philip?
next up was Philip.
Philip, your turn, bud. You're back with us.
All right. Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
Okay, opening it up. What did everybody think?
Kind of like one of my reads.
I want
Honestly.
more enthusiasm.
Yeah,
It sounds a little like an accountant reading the script.
But yeah, I will say, that was a good Dan Reed.
that was a good Dan read.
That was a good
Very
Dan.
good, Dan Reed.
You came across a little bit deadpan.
Yeah.
Yep, very good Dan Reed. If
Yeah.
Dan's saying that.
There was the inflections were almost gone. There was almost no inflection on that first line. Sounded like you tried to, but it didn't come across right. Am I saying that right, Michael? You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, the inflections, the teeter-tottering, the seesawing, the actual differentiating what's happening on either side. Yeah, that was going to be my critique too. Is that both sides of each of these were read very similarly. There wasn't a whole lot of difference, which is why I think it's important to make a choice on if you're going to start going up or if you're going to start going down. Either one will work. You just got to make sure you do the opposite on the other side of the sentence so that both sides sort of have this up, down feel.
I'd say for a direction,
Hershey's
pretend
makes
that you're
smiles.
talking to a 10-year-old kid.
Pretend you are a 10-year-old kid.
That might work too.
Pretend you're pretending to be a pretend 10-year-old kid.
Yeah, but I mean, you're all.
Pretend that I'm pretending to be a 10-year-old kid.
That's right.
You're an
Sell me
actor.
candy. Come on,
do it.
I dare you to sell me candy.
Put a smile on there, buddy, and give us a good read. There you go.
right. Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
I like that. You know what I liked about that was you did something that nobody has done. You emphasized the more instead of doing the up at like smiles, the first smiles, and then the down slide for smiles make more smiles. It was Hershey's make smiles, smiles make more smiles. I like that.
I liked it too.
Thanks, Philip. You took what I was going to do.
Uh-huh. Well, much better, and you got rid of the accountant.
Well, except on the second half. I don't know.
Yeah,
if you all got that. Like the first half sounded absolutely great. The second half sounded really stilted, kind of odd.
And I was watching him, and the second half, when you started on that second line, your smile just started fading away. I was watching you, and your smile went away, and therefore the read went with your smile. It's really odd that if you're smiling when you're reading something, it comes out, and you stop smiling, you can't help it. It just goes. It goes flat.
If there was two more lines, you would have been scowling.
Yeah, remember, we've talked about this many times before. The finish line is after the last period, so you can't end any sooner than that. The finish line is long after the last period. So you're performing before you start speaking and after you stop speaking. So if you keep that in mind, you should. I think this next read will be great. Like I said, you started off really well. Like the way that you opened up was really good, but that second line, it felt like you started feeling more awkward as you were going through it.
All right. Right then. All right. Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
Yay!
There you go. You kept your smile the whole time, and that really made the difference, Philip.
I heard kind of an extra bump on chocolate, on when the hot chocolate is Hershey's. I mean, overall, the pacing and everything was good, but it sounded like a little more emphasis on chocolate than it was on Hershey's.
Who cares about Hershey? I know.
That was
when
really,
the
really
chocolate is Hershey's, not when the chocolate is Hershey's.
When the chocolate is Hershey's.
We don't want to turn into a Shatner read where everything's emphasized. When the chocolate
When the chocolate
life
is
is
Hershey's.
delicious.
It's delicious.
I would say give it one more read and make sure to move the emphasis from chocolate to Hershey's.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Keep that smile. You're doing good now.
All right. Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Hershey's.
Put that one in your back pocket, baby.
Chocolate. Oh, cha-ching. Oh, wait.
George.
Anybody else?
Okay, now you sound like a 3-year-old.
About to have it.
I know where he got that from. SpongeBob. The guy screaming. I like chocolate. Chocolate's very good.
I remember when they first invented chocolate. Sweet, sweet chocolate.
Alrighty then. Does
got my
anybody else
smile
have anything
back
they'd like to say about Philip's read?
I actually liked it when he picked it up because he picked it up and he kept the same emphasis that he was using. So, and that was a great pickup for you. I actually haven't heard you do one that good before.
Yeah, you didn't drop down. You stayed at the same level, and because you were keeping that smile and your
Pacing was
energetic feel and the pacing, everything. You just kind of like, oops, I made a boo boo, and then went right on with what it needed to be. So it was perfect.
That was your goodest read.
All right. Thanks everyone.
Your
No, thank
goodest
you,
read.
Philip.
What is that? Something that's normally said in Canada.
Well, here, well, okay, I'll settle this. It was really good for a Phil read. All right, who's next?
Dan was next, right?
Dan was next.
I've already
Okay.
got my smile. I've already got my smile plastered on my face.
All right, let's
There
hear
you
it.
go, Dan.
You got your
let's
teeth
hear
in this week. Cool.
Hey, now.
Wow, we got a cutting.
All right. Dan, go ahead. Let's hear the read.
That was only once. Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
You're doing it again, Dan. You're judging
know.
yourself.
I know.
What have we talked about, Dan?
I'm waiting.
What have we talked about, Dan?
I'm waiting to hear the onslaught.
Well, it was just a little, I just
Let
thought
it
it was a
go.
little quick, is all. A little fast on the pacing.
You know, it was a little quick, and it was a little too, if it makes sense, a little too bewildered sounding. Like Hershey's makes smiles, and smiles make, almost like you're just landed in Candyland or something like that.
Yeah. The things that stuck out for me was you stumbled a bit there after makes and smiles. So Hershey's makes smiles. There's a bit of a stumble there. And the very end, life is delicious. It sounded like you ended, the energy went away about halfway through the delicious. So maintain the attitude past the ending period.
Like you said, when the chocolate is Hershey's, you like emphasize every word in there, like something like when the chocolate is Hershey's. Yeah, that's just something I noticed. Like, mix it up. Yeah, mix it up.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. Well, you've gotten quite the set of directions there.
Yeah.
My direction that I'm going to give you: take the headphones off, get out of your own head. Because this is something that I've been noticing. Is in a lot of the reads, you drop off halfway through because it seems like you're judging your own read as you're going along. And I understand that probably works for some aspects of voiceover, and I actually believe that could help you out with audiobooks, like you say you've done. But in general, when it comes to these short reads specifically, and more particularly these commercial reads, it's really important to get out of your own head. Because I think that's why. I think it's why that like loss of energy was noticed at the end of Delicious, because it sounded like you noticed your own loss of energy, and you started, getting into your own head again.
Yeah.
So this time, do it without the headphones on, and just do it.
Whoa. All right. Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
When the chocolate is Hershey's sounded really rushed there to me. And the first line, the Hershey's makes smiles, smiles makes more smiles, it sounded like you were veering there more towards the sultry than the upbeat again.
Yeah, I actually caught that too, and I'm again judging myself, but I didn't let myself get in the head.
Well, and if you feel like it totally went to heck, just say it again.
Yeah, your energetic feel went. It just fell flat. It was like, yeah, it's chocolate. Want some?
I'm not giving you any. It's mine.
You're trying to make it sound bad so that somebody else won't want it. Oh, okay. Well, then you're doing a really good job.
It's not chocolate. It's veggie beef jerky.
Veggie chocolate?
It's vegetarian chocolate.
It's soy chocolate.
It's
Naturally,
carob.
chocolate is vegetarian, so
It's already.
Yeah, chocolate is already vegetarian, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not milk chocolate. It's got to be dark chocolate, like pure chocolate.
Vegan chocolate.
Baking chocolate. Anyway, give us another read.
Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious. I did it again.
Pacing, that was improved. I think your pacing was a lot better. You had, I think, emphasis in the right spot, but it was still here and needs to be up here. It was just still, it wasn't as flat as the previous one, but I thought the pacing and everything you were doing was in the right spot. Just needed more oomph. I don't know.
Dan,
Yeah,
why don't
it-
you try standing?
But it needs to.
Sorry, what was that,
Yeah.
Crystal?
I was going to say, why doesn't he try standing? That might help change the energy.
It's standing.
Yeah, he actually is.
All 6'8" of them.
My apologies.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm still getting a bit of machine
That's
gun on the when the chocolate is Hershey.
When the chocolate is Hershey's. Yeah, I do say that one a little fast. I caught myself.
So stretch it out a bit. I put in a little bit of a, well, not a pause, but somewhat of a slowdown after chocolates and go. So you realize, ooh, we're talking chocolate.
Actually, what we
I'm going to do
agreed
this
on.
like me. I'm going to do this like me.
Okay.
Instead, because I actually do, like you guys say, I do the shorter reads better in my natural accent than I do in the.
Well, yeah, because I was going to say what's happening is like you're looking at this, you're reading a commercial. You're not talking. When you're doing this, you're reading a commercial. Try just talking instead. You know what I mean? Like when we're just talking and like this, you've got excitement in your voice when we're kibitzing around and joking and all that stuff. But then when it's okay, let's go read this commercial, all of a sudden that goes away, and it's like I'm going into commercial reading mode now.
Yeah, read these exact words, but do it in your words.
Hey. Yeah.
Hey.
Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
See, so much better.
Yeah.
So much better. You don't sound like the guy driving around in the white van anymore.
Okay. Let me see if I can do it with a natural accent or with a North American now. Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
Honestly, I like the other one better in your natural accent. I really did.
Yeah. Well, it broke up a little bit here with the somewhere in the technology end, but
Yeah, but I mean, through that.
But either way, both of those last two reads were a clear improvement over what came before.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I need to do for these short reads is just read in my natural accent and then see.
Just be as natural with it.
Read your natural accent and then optionally strip out the accent.
Right. Because when I do my natural accent, it comes out more natural, I guess.
Well, and that's the thing. In a short read like this, you want it to be as natural as possible. And they may not go into, a casting director may not go into this thinking, I want someone with a Texas accent. But you know what? They may hear you and go, God, that just sounds so good.
Well, it'll play well in Texas.
Give them you.
I paid $3,000 for accent removal and still use it.
You know what, man?
Well, hey, here's the thing. Now that accent that you've got is another tool.
Yep.
So you can speak without it, sure, but now that you have it, you can use that as a tool.
You see,
So it's not money. It was not money lost. It's money well spent because now you have both of those tools to work with: the North American accent and the Texas accent,
and the Georgia and
yeah,
et cetera, et cetera.
North Nebraska.
That's the whole thing about it. That's the whole thing about it. I mean, what was it? I was doing a class with David Rosenthal, and he picked up on the fact that I have just a shade of a Southern accent, which, I mean,
it's obviously Tennessee, but
yeah, living south of the Mason-Dixon line. I'm married to a woman from Kentucky who, that's her natural accent, and hers has become a little more flattened out thanks to being with me and all my various dialects and characters that I do. But it is there, and I don't even think about it. So, he's hearing my read, and he's like, well, that actually helped my read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David thought I was from Ohio, so.
Well, I would have said Illinois, but
I'm just kidding. The wrong place. Anyway,
you were next, Michael.
Oh, right. That is me. All right. Let's do this. Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
It's a calm, pleasant read.
Yeah.
I'd like more enthusiasm. That's like a bedtime story read.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put a slight.
That goes after a kind of a cutesy cartoon kind of commercial. The tag that goes on the cutesy cartoon kind of commercial.
Okay,
I'd like
so
something
more of a zone 2.
Well, I'd like something more that goes along with a backyard party and people are enjoying themselves, or a kid's birthday party, but it's like an outdoor thing and there's the bouncy castle going and all this, and Mom comes up with a big bowl of Hershey's chocolates or something like that. That was more tucking the kids in at night for bed and giving them a little treat before they go to sleep at night.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd also say hit the second Hershey's just a shade more.
Okay. Anything else?
Yep, just a little more oomph.
All right, I'll give it a little bit more.
You can't default to your standard zone 1. Sorry.
Okay.
We ain't allowing it. Bubba.
Okay. All right. I will maintain a zone 2 distance.
Yeah, this is about a zone 2 type of commercial anyway.
Okay. Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
Perfect.
That was just right. Yes.
I may have slowed down Life is Delicious just
That's what I was going to say.
a smidge. You
Life
kind
is
of rushed
Delicious.
just a little bit through Life
Okay.
is Delicious. But other than
I can
that,
give another read where it's slowed down.
that's the zone, that's the tone, that's the one.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe just stretch out the smiles slightly more. So instead of Hershey's makes smiles, it's more like Hershey's makes smiles.
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Maybe the
Just about.
smiles.
I can slow it down just a hair. Let's see how much of a difference that would make. Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
Perfect.
There
Yeah,
it is.
I like it.
That was it. I was trying not to look at you this time to just hear it, and I like that one the best.
Cool.
Imaginary mic drop time.
Yeah, exactly. Don't do that. They're expensive. But, okay, I got to use more of my zone 2. I know I've been defaulting with zone 1 with a lot of these reads lately, so.
Well, because that's your comfort zone. That's what your voice lends itself to more so than anything else. Because you do have that wonderful sort of breathy kind of sultry male voice kind of thing going on.
Yeah, and it sucks.
No, it doesn't.
Because I want a more versatile voice, and that's
And
why
that's fine, but I'm saying that's what you default to because that's your
Yeah.
your brooding superhero kind of read sort of voice,
Yeah.
and you do it so well. You really
And the other thing about your zone 1 is you do have a range in that. You have your sultry superhero voice. You also have that voice that has that gravitas behind it, where it sounds like it's absolutely important. When it
Just
comes
out of
to-
curiosity,
smiles.
Crystal, do you know what we're talking about with Zone 1 and Zone 2?
I'm sort of getting the idea, but no, I don't. So enlighten me.
Okay, so this concept is sort of about where to place your reads in your tone of voice and distance from microphone. So zone 1 is an up close, sort of quieter and calmer read. Zone 2 is more of your natural speaking voice, and it offers you a lot more energy. And zone 3 is as far back as you can get, and you can get a little bit louder if you wanted to. So that's kind of what we're talking about.
Great, thank you.
No problem. Yeah, I default to zone 1. I need to use my zone 2 a little bit more.
I'm right there with you.
Well, you did a fantastic job on your read, so
Thank
good
you.
on you. All right, next was
Me.
Leonard.
Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
All right, opening it up. What did you all think of that read?
2 of the smiles sounded exactly the same. The Hershey's make smiles, and then the smiles make more smiles. The end of each concept, it was exactly the same smile.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it just me or just a tad rushed?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah, a little
I
bit.
can't say that.
Yeah. The second line was a lot better than the first one. It just seemed like you just kind of ran through the first one, and then it was a little better pace on the second one, but still just a tad rushed.
Okay. Take two.
Take two.
Go for it.
Hershey's make smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
Still rushing the first line.
Okay.
And you need a little more of a break between Hershey's and life. When you read it, it was when the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
Yeah,
Okay.
you breezed past the comma.
Yeah, you completely ignored the comma and the inflection that comes with it.
Okay. Hershey's make smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
So you slowed down on the second half, but your first half is still a little quick.
Okay.
And then you're smiling, but there's really not a lot of inflection going on. It's all fairly much the same tone all the way through. I mean, yes, you're smiling and you can hear the smiling in your voice. And when I look at you, you see the teeth are there, but there's not a lot of inflection going on, like not a lot of changing it up or anything like that to add excitement to the read. So it almost comes along like they told me I have to smile when I read.
Okay.
That's why I'm smiling. But I don't really feel like smiling today, but I have to.
Okay.
So that's how it's coming out sounding.
Okay.
Is there anyone in particular you're reading it to?
That was my direction to myself just now. Like, okay, I have to visualize somebody that I'm talking to.
And
So
who would that be?
Let's go with a 10-year-old granddaughter.
10-year-old
Oh, there you
granddaughter. All
There
right.
you go.
Hershey's make smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
Almost getting there.
Again, you rushed through the first line even quicker this time.
Yeah.
It was even faster than before, and you didn't leave any room to breathe between the two smiles.
Yeah, give yourself a couple beats on the ellipses. Just
Think of it yourself. You said your 10-year-old granddaughter. It's like, Pop, why do we have Hershey's? Because
Silly question.
Because Hershey's makes smiles, and smiles make more smiles. Like you're answering her question.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was actually, the way I did it, I know I sped through it as well, but I had that break there because I was imagining myself giving like a Hershey's kiss to my niece. And then I said, smiles make more smiles. I mean, that's.
Okay.
And also too, like we've said in the past, Leonard, if you need to say something to lead yourself into the line to get yourself into the, so you're not just starting off cold.
Yeah.
Try doing something like that if you think it'll help you to lead into it like that. But think of it like that, like your granddaughter is asking you, Pop, why do we have Hershey's? Why do you always give me Hershey's?
Your energy was good in the read, but you took the energy and made it speed. So keep the energy and move the speed. And see if that makes sense.
Okay. Hershey's make smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
Much better.
Yeah.
Much better. Definitely well improved.
That felt to me like I was going way, way slow.
Well, that was actually the perfect pace.
Yeah.
Well,
Pacing was good, but you lost your energy by slowing down the read.
Well,
But it wasn't that far off, though.
We both talked pretty fast. We
I
both
think
do.
the thing that may
Naturally.
have gotten in some of our heads, as I mentioned earlier, it was a 15-second spot.
Mm.
You got to remember, with as many lines as are in this spot, you don't have to rush through it
Hmm.
because you do this many lines in way under 15 seconds. And besides that, they've got this spot filled with visual and music to pad out everything that you're saying.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I was just, my main thing in my head there was deliberately going really slowly.
good approach.
Well, I guess it worked.
Yeah, deliberately go
Yeah.
really slowly, but don't let that happiness and enthusiasm drop.
Mm. Okay.
One more read. Go for it.
Okay. Hershey's make smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
I liked your last read better.
Okay.
I did too.
I don't know how to put what was missing in this one.
Yeah, something felt a little off on this one, but I'm not quite sure what either.
It was
Well,
the start.
there-
You started
there-
off. You started off with a really low level of energy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
The enthusiasm was gone right from the beginning,
Yeah.
and you just never made it up.
It never showed up. It was gone and
Okay.
it never came back.
Try climbing with Hershey's Make Smiles. Hershey's Make Smiles. Go up. Make sure to end smiles off on a higher level. Not too high, obviously, but climb up with it because that'll help give you a little bit more energy.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you the same thing that Michael told me. Take your headphones off. Get out of your head.
Okay. Anything else before I take them off?
Get out of your head. I'm just kidding.
Okay, here we go. Hershey's make smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
That was
Much
that was-
better.
I
That
think
was
that's the
it.
best one so far.
Yeah, the best of the bunch.
Yep.
You're not
That was the
listening
best
to
Leonard
yourself.
That'd be the one
Okay.
that you.
Jen, you know what you can do, Leonard, too. I mean, and I've said it before, and I don't know, but even anytime you're reading, just take one cup off. You don't need to hear both sides. Just take one cup off. The only reason, and the only reason you really need the headphones, to be honest with you, the only reason is if you're being directed remotely, or if you're listening to music and you got a post that you got to hit. If you got key posts in music that you got to hit on a spot, that's why you wear the headphones. If not, don't even wear them when you're reading, because you sound so much better when you're not listening to yourself, buddy.
Okay, yeah, when I audition, I frequently take them off. But
Well, perfect.
Well,
hey,
then
I have to hear what you guys are saying.
Well, yeah, but I mean, not when you're reading. You just take them off, do your read, and then put them back on to hear what we're saying to you.
Yeah. No, that read was really good. It was fantastic. So
Okay, thank
yeah,
you,
done good.
There you go.
Next was
Nathan.
Nathan's removing the chair from the equation. Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
Okay, zone 2 again. You're zone 1ing.
Hey, Nathan,
Guys,
are you single?
what?
Yeah. What Dan said. Are you single? Because I think I'm in love with your voice.
Yeah, and when you were trying to do the zone 1, you didn't have the energetic feel to it because you were up close and trying to do it quiet. It lost the enthusiasm.
Okay. Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
so
Better.
it was better, but I think the thing that was dragging that down a little bit was the fact that you walked your entire first line all the way down. Hershey's make smiles. Smiles make more smiles.
Got you.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah, that's why we're talking about. Like, if you're going to go down on one side, go up on the other. Hershey's make smiles. Smiles make more smiles. Go back up.
Okay.
Yeah. One note that, and this was, well, one note that I do get with you a lot and got a little bit of this time too was try to just speak to us as Nathan, not as a character.
Be happy,
Hershey.
Nathan.
Hershey's makes
Nathan-
smiles.
Oh. Okay, let's not interrupt him. Nathan, you're free. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hershey's make smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
Okay, so instead of walking down the entire first line, you walk down and then hit a plateau.
Got ya.
They went, Hershey's make smiles. Smiles make more smiles. You see, you didn't really go back up. So, I mean, if you wanted to use that technique, I don't know. It sounds right to me, and I think Nathan really could pull it off. If any of you have another idea, please speak.
No, I think that's a good idea. But what I'm also hearing on the second line is when the chocolate is Hershey's, it's the one paying for it. When the chocolate is Hershey's, it's like we know it's going to be delicious. Instead, the chocolate is Hershey's.
And the chocolate is Hershey's.
Just think about it on that second one. Hershey's, like literally like a big giant Hershey's bar, putting $100 bill in your back pocket when you say Hershey's. It's like, yes. Say the name.
Hershey
faith in you,
paying me
Nathan.
for the spot. There we go. Yes.
But yeah, so I think with that first line, try to make your second peak on more. Smiles make more smiles. It's okay to go back down a little bit with that second smiles, but try to give it that climb back up, because right now you're climbing down and you're sort of staying in that little valley there, and it's killing the emotion.
Okay. Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
What did y'all think about that one?
Oh, we're getting
Yes.
closer.
Getting closer, but you really stomped on more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that one to me was starting to verge a little more into the cartoonish area again. Sorry.
The second line, I thought the second line went well.
Yes.
Mm.
But
I
you
thought that
just
one went
like sledgehammered more.
Yeah. Smiles make more smiles.
Smiles
Yeah, so
make
Hershey's
more
make smiles. So try this. Whatever tone you end off the first smiles on, start from there for your second one. So Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. All you're doing is walking up. You're not hitting it. You're not elongating it. You're literally just walking the tone back up for more.
Think of more not as a mountain, but as a speed bump. I don't know how else to say it. Like smiles make more smiles instead of smiles make more smiles.
Mm-hmm.
Think more chocolate.
There you go. Make more chocolate.
More chocolate. Yes, I could use more chocolate.
There you go. That's a good one.
Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
Perfect for down. Now you just need more energy.
Do you like
Yeah.
Hershey's? Do you
I
like
her-
Hershey's?
Do you like
Do I
chocolate? Do you like it?
I happen to love chocolate.
Doesn't
Sounds
I don't like
you
Hershey's.
love it.
Chocolate is my chocolate.
Doesn't sound like it.
You have this love affair with the chocolate. Let us hear it.
Mi amore.
Think of those white chocolate candy bars I used to eat after work when I was a teenager.
There you go.
Maybe I should just go into, there we go. Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
Bam. Not bad. Not bad.
Boy, you're getting each one of them. You just get that much closer.
I went into my real natural voice. By the way, guys, this is me. This is my natural voice. I trained myself to talk like this. But I talked like a teenager since I was a teenager. It never changed.
Sort of like I got trained to talk without my accent.
Yeah, just like Dan got trained to talk not like a Texan.
Well, the thing of it is I really do have a higher pitch in my voice. I just
No,
taught
that's
myself
fine.
how to because I wanted to actually seem like a man when I was telling my kids what they needed to do and have them take me seriously instead of, what, Dad? You got to be kidding me, Dad. No, I'm not kidding you.
Bart Simpson.
Eat my shorts with chocolate.
Oh,
Whoa.
Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's it. Golf clap, finally. Golf
Mhm.
clap. Yeah.
And just because it's traditional, we got to have everybody read. So Frank is next.
Yay!
Even though he already blew us out of the water right at the very beginning, we may as well let him have another chance to shame our reads.
Here we are. We spent 20 minutes chatting about it. Oh, here, you need to read first. Never mind.
All right. Now I'll just flub it up, okay, guys?
Oh,
Thanks for making us feel better.
Hershey's makes smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
I thought you said you were going to flub it up.
Yeah,
Send him a second.
Actually, I do have a note. I do have a note here.
Oh,
I have a note.
There's a note. There's a note.
Slow it down a little bit.
yep.
Okay.
Who's
Yeah,
right?
you didn't
I
allow
got all
all of it.
excited. I got all excited from all that damn.
I guess
get that.
I guess we hyped it up a little bit too much. Yeah, slow
Too
it
much
down.
chocolate.
There you go. Yep.
Too much chocolate.
Hershey's make smiles. Smiles make more smiles. When the chocolate is Hershey's, life is delicious.
Woohoo!
There you go.
Does
Excellent.
Hershey
I'll
make
give
a
him a golf clap.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
That was phenomenally perfect.
Phenomenally adequate.
Wow, phenomenally perfect.
Thanks for making us all feel horribly. It was great.
Richard, would you like some Hershey's? Make it feel better.
Maybe
guys-
a Boca Burger too.
You guys all get your revenge next time there's like one of these video reads that Nathan has, because you know I suck at those. So
Here's the thing. I've only tried one of them so far, if I remember correctly.
it's because I suck at them. That's why.
Well, that's kind of being presumptuous of you. I think you can do it.
That's the
Anyway,
thing.
You know how
It's-
uncomfortable I feel with like character and cartoon and commercial or not commercial. Well, yeah, you know how uncomfortable I feel just in general. Come on, you can do this. I feel really uncomfortable with character reads, but you know, I think it's always important to push yourself a little bit with that, anyways.
That's the
Come
thing.
on,
My
this is-
challenge,
Next time
nudge
there's a
the
character
rhythm.
read, I promise I will attempt it.
Awesome.
my
Thank
personal
you.
challenge is commercial reads. Okay. Hey, I've done some promo stuff. The stuff I've done for the radio has all been character based, you know, and well, I can say I wrote it myself, so I did. But it's all been character based. But my big challenge is doing those commercial style reads, you know, because I mean, my description of myself on my one man show thing is he's a walking cartoon. So I mean,
And that's
You know.
pretty accurate.
it is very accurate because I love to do character stuff. If anybody
Wow.
needs character stuff, I am here, folks. I am here.
I can't afford you, Nathan.
Yeah, well, here's the thing.
I'd
Which
love-
one of you
you
do
know
we
what,
hire?
seriously,
And
I
do
would-
we
I
have to
would
pay
be-
for like an entire crew?
I would love you to do character stuff for my radio show, but I can't afford you. So we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll talk. Because I love doing character work. And the thing of it is, though, is I know commercial work is a bread and butter style of work that's out there, and it's always available.
You know what's more bread and butter is narration, man. E-learning, narration for corporate videos. It's boring. Well, I shouldn't say that because sometimes
No, it's not.
No, actually, it's not boring. It's the wrong choice of words. It's not as exciting as doing the sexy commercial reads and all that stuff. But you know what? It's the bread and butter for a lot of people out there.
Yep.
Yours truly included. That's my bread and butter is doing narration, e-learning, that kind of stuff. I hardly do any commercial reads anymore.
I have a couple of commercials out there, but for the most part, I do narration, real estate, and audiobooks.
Mm-hmm.
But
So
everybody has their challenge. That was my big point is everybody has their challenge, and the thing of it is this is such a multifaceted part of the
industry.
performing arts, and I do label voiceover as performing arts because we are all performers of some type.
Mm-hmm. But
We really,
and I mean, just out of curiosity, just asking you guys, just your opinion on it. I think a lot of voice actors can do a couple of things well, but I don't think anybody out there, anybody can do everything well.
Nor do you need to.
You may get somebody who
Right.
does really great narrations and work like that, but they can't really pull off character work in video games. And by the same token, you may get someone like yourself, Nathan, who just rocks character voicing in video games and that kind of stuff, but you may not have the pacing to be able to do narration as well or something like that. So it's just important to find your niche where you settle into and maybe expand a little on it as time goes by, but really find that niche, and that's where you get your bread and butter and keeps you going, and while you work on the other stuff, I guess.
You do what you do, and you do it well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like
I
Michael
tried
and his-
doing I tried doing e-learning and narration, and I wind up putting everyone to sleep. So, so that's what I'm going to do, is put everyone to sleep on purpose.
There you go. So what you do is relaxation videos.
Hmm.
Yeah. Meditation videos. There's actually a niche for that too. Meditation
Oh, yeah.
videos are insane.
Point me in that direction. I'm ready.
You and your
I
class
actually
leads
know
may
somebody
do
that.
What was that, Richard? I missed it.
Michael and his Zone 1 reads are, there's certain styles, different commercials, different things that want to have that would fit right in with that as well.
Oh, I can picture. I can just so perfectly hear Michael doing those Mercedes Benz or Lincoln's commercials. things
Yeah,
like-
even Crystal. If she's the relaxation read, I mean that's a very big niche in the commercial industry right now too.
Cool.
Yeah, it depends on the brand.
It really
exactly.
does.
All right. So I think with that, we can go ahead and end the recorded
Yes,
part of the
we
mic
will.
check, right? Nathan?
okay, everybody on YouTube, hey, if you haven't, subscribe, that little button down there. I'm pointing at it. And come join us. We are here live. Few exceptions, I mean, we won't be here at on Christmas Day, of course. Never, or
We won't.
away with
He was
family.
only mostly dead.
But we are here every Monday doing this, having fun. So come on and join us. Link up with us on Facebook, Twitter. We're on the social media sites. And come have fun with us.
Okay, everybody,
Mic
big dating game kiss. Dating game kiss.
Join us every Monday for free script practice. You can also find the Mic Check on Facebook and Twitter. If you liked what you saw, then subscribe for more.